Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rotting our screens and indeed our minds. Shout out to everyone who listens on Apple and subscribes on that platform. Shout out to everyone who listens on Spotify and subscribes on that platform. A big shout out to the YouTube community who've been subscribing to us in their droves, and we've now managed to monetize that platform. And a massive shout out to all the patrons, the Freemasons, the Illuminati who fund this wonderful endeavour, but most importantly, and without question, a big wink and a kiss to all the ladies who listen, who are some of the most gorgeous and indeed sexy ladies in the UK. I'm here with Jake Farrell.
People don't know the afternoon that we've had, but that does just make it all worth it. It does just. It's like a palate cleanser. Do you know what I mean?
We'll get into the afternoon we've had in a moment, but can I just say a massive apology? Genuinely, a massive apology. I obviously we listened back to the episodes like. I don't know about you. I listened back like 2 or 3 times as I'm going through finding the reels, editing bits, blah blah blah. I realised
cackling to yourself every time.
I have been laughing, man. I realise I've been shouting out the ladies who are some of the most gorgeous and sexy ladies in the UK.
That's just a fact. That gives him no pleasure to say that. It's just a fact.
I've not been winking and kissing them.
Oh, recently?
I've not been giving them a wink and a kiss.
Wow.
I've shouted them out. I've not given them a wink and a kiss. I don't know about you. I think the way that we as men treat women in 2024 is so important. And I think they deserve a wink and a kiss.
Sure.
If they want it.
If they want it.
If they don't want it, don't fucking do that.
No, I agree.
But if they want it, let them fucking have it.
Yeah, and we've been pretty clear, I suppose, or you've been pretty clear that you are willing to hand out winks and kisses, and then to withdraw that knowingly or unknowingly, that represents a safeguarding issue, doesn't it, really? So
I think if we're going to go into safeguarding issues, I've got a pregnant cat. So the afternoon, look, I'll be straight with you. I'll let cards on the table. I think there's something. I think I've got issues, like, you know, in terms of my brain. We're meeting today to record. First, so I remembered to bring the tripod. I was like, need the tripod for the camera. However, I went and got a haircut before this, left the tripod in the barbershop. I phoned Jake as I'm on the way from the barbershop to my next appointment, which was a meeting, and I was like, I've left the tripod in the barbershop. He was like, are you joking?
Yeah.
I said, no. I said, don't worry. Phoned the barbershop. They were absolutely lovely about it. Sent an Uber up there to get the tripod and bring it to the studio. Okay, back on course. As I'm getting out of the tube to get to the studio, I'm like, right, we'll get in, we'll have 20 minutes to set up.
Sure.
And it just in my head, I was like, what does setting up look like? I was like, well, we can't do the camera because we haven't got the tripod, can't do the lights because we haven't got the tripod, but we can start doing the audio. And then I was like, I haven't brought the mics or the podcast recorder. I'd forgotten everything. And I just apologised to you, didn't I? I just said sorry.
You did, actually. It was neutralised as a... those of you that came to the live show, subscribed to the Patreon, have seen the video of the one where we did have a big row. It was neutralised as an object of a row. I kind of more felt sorry for you, in a way.
Yeah.
I did, like, you were genuinely speculating, like, is there something inoperably wrong with your brain?
Yeah.
And I must admit, like, we're going to invest in an MRI scan after this.
I would just want to quickly say we've had some really lovely messages. A lot of new listeners. Shout out to new listeners.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
I know that there'll be people who are clicking on this because they've seen the topic we're going to talk about, and they'll be like, "Get into it, please." We will. However, I want to shout out to Gary in Scotland, who messaged to say some really nice things. Said. Quick message to stroke your egos and let you know that me and my mates have all been listening to the pod. We really enjoy it. I'm not going to read out the rest of what he said, but there's just one quick thing I want to say at the end. Keep up the incredibly low quality but somehow great work.
Do you know what? So I showed my missus that message, and I was like, what a lovely message.
It means a lot. We should just say, anyone who writes in like that, the reviews, it does mean
it means a huge amount. Those are the moments that get us through the forgotten tripods. But I showed my missus that message, and I said, oh, look at this. And she said, oh, he said low quality but somehow high quality at the end. And she went to me, oh, I think that was because this week you had 4 minutes at the end of the episode where there was slightly less good audio. Yeah. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, I don't know if you knew that. And I was like, I fucking edit the episodes. I was like, do you think he edits the episodes? You're not notifying me that there's 4 minutes of low quality audio at the end. I fucking sit there doing it. It was mad. Yeah. But big thanks to Gary. Thanks to
Gary. Thanks to everyone who sends us nice stuff. Is there any admin you want to cover? We've got some things. Anything else you want to cover in the intro?
I guess that we are in kind of the territory now where I do wonder if there is some kind of Gothic curse that's been put on us by someone in terms of like the amount of issues we have setting up. Every kind of level, every kind of new obstacle that we surpass, there seems to be another one thrown in our way.
Everything that could break has broken. Yeah. Like genuinely, everything
What's
has,
like Murphy's law is like anything that could happen will happen. The screen rot law is anything piece of microphone based equipment that can break will break at any one time. But we're here, we're putting in the hard yards, and we're still doing the episodes for you every week.
Going, man.
And this is the thing, we're in a real phase at the moment of we're getting loads of lovely messages, we're getting new people listening in. A big thank you from us. Can you give us a little review on iTunes, maybe?
Yeah, that helps. Review on iTunes, review on Spotify, get that number up.
And this will be coming out at a time where we're just about to do our hours of stand-up each at the Bill Murray.
We should talk about that. So, we're going to be doing that on the September the 29th.
September the 29th?
Best bits for me. I'll be doing just best bits from the last few years. You're doing more of a show, aren't you?
Bit of both, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rotters again, because every now and then and actually I should say I met a very important rotter the other day.
Oh yeah,
I met Andrew Kerr.
What a legend!
What a man!
Yeah,
Andrew Kerr.
Sorry
if people aren't aware, have a look. He's someone who he does very funny videos on the internet. He also, from his own sort of social accounts, he just shares stuff from the kind of idiots that we would talk about on this podcast.
Loads of people we've done on this podcast, I think I've probably seen on his socials first of all.
Met him in person. First of all, startlingly attractive man. Fuck me, those eyes.
Yeah,
good-looking geezer.
Good swim in those eyes.
But do you know what he could do? And I'm not saying this to kiss his eye. He could do Bond. you know, you meet some people and you're like, do you know the level of you could do Bond? Do you know
That's your bar, is it?
Yeah. I you.
Could I do Bond?
Neither of us could do Bond. Neither of us could do Bond. No, we're not Bond.
No.
My agent Jack. That's
could
Bond,
do Bond.
Innit? That's Bond.
He could do blonde Bond, yeah.
Fucking massive. Bro.
We could be like Bond's little. You know, sometimes there's often a little fella in like a bowler hat or something that will show him around a marketplace.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah. Oh, here's one for you. Actually, that I was going to tell you about. Ancestry test for me. Did I tell you that I did that?
No, you didn't.
I did, mate. Did a fucking ancestry test. So it's my mother-in-law got it for me.
Oh yeah.
And I can't tell if it was a wind-up or not that she got it for me.
Right.
Because so my mum's Irish, right? So when I first met my girlfriend's family, I went over to Ireland, met her mum, and I was just there at the house. And you're on the back foot.
Right.
Whenever you meet the missus' family first time, you're on the back foot.
Yeah, for sure.
Aren't you? And it's you just want to fucking straight bat everything. Do you know what I mean? Just don't muck about. Don't try and hit a six. Just defend the crease. Yeah. Straight bat.
Nudge one around the corner. Take a single where you can.
Safe passes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't try anything over the top. Just keep the ball. Right. And she was just on me straight away. And she's like, I've done impressions of her in the past. German lady, lived in Ireland for a long time. She's like, so your family is Irish? I'm like, yep, they are, yep. And she's like, what's their name? And I was like, pardon? And she asked me to tell her my mother's maiden name.
Right.
So I was like, well, my mum's a Cooper and my mum's dad was a Chamberlain. Right. And she's like, what? Mum's a Cooper, mum's dad's a Chamberlain. And she just wouldn't have it. She was like, that's not an Irish name. And I was like, right. And she was like, are you sure they're Irish?
It's a good wind-up.
And what do you do? The thing is, when you know that you're like the power structure in that situation, I just met her. You can't say, fuck off.
Do you want to fucking go outside, love?
No, but you don't want to be like, I've met my grandparents. Yes, they're Irish. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to be like, yes.
I just got no sympathy for you because this is the kind of thing you do to me. So you're saying, going like, can you believe this woman saying non sequiturs to me? You do it all the time.
The point is, she's kind of like thrown doubt at me about my own heritage ever since I've met her.
Right.
And then so for Christmas this year, she got me an ancestry test. As if to be like, prove it.
Real big dick move.
As if to be like, prove it. So obviously it's one of them things. It fucking sits in a drawer in a spare room. You don't touch it for ages. And then over summer, quiet afternoon, I was like, you know what, fuck it. I think I had to stick it up my nose. It was like a COVID test.
Right.
Sent it off. I mean, if I'd have paid for it, I'd have wanted my money back.
What'd they tell you?
Exactly what I knew already. Half Irish, quarter Scottish, quarter English. Thanks very much.
What were you hoping? That you'd be Native American?
Exotic. Everyone wants something exotic,
Lance, darling, turns out I'm an Apache chief.
Yeah, exactly right. You want to be able to go on the group chat and go, did you know I'm Japanese? Do you know what I mean? You always like crossing your legs, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? You want something that's a bit of a. I tell you what, I do think that they do this. I reckon wherever they are, the fucking laboratory where they do this shit. I reckon when they get someone like me who is so bog standard British and boring, British Irish, you know what I mean? I reckon they're like, throw something in to keep it 8% Swedish.
8% Swedish.
8% Swedish.
Is that? Yeah. I mean, but there's a Nordic influence in Ireland, I suppose. Yeah, that's less good, isn't it? You do want to be as incongruous a thing.
What would you want?
To be dead, ideally. Just send back a test result to say that I'm dead. I never have to do the podcast again.
Heritage-wise, because you're half Irish.
Yes.
Which side is it? Your dad's Irish.
Dad's side are Irish.
Yeah, right.
There's always been rumours or like kind of allusions on my mum's side. There's Romany heritage. In the family.
I'm traveller as well. My
That's not what I said, but yeah, you said that like I used the same word as you.
Yeah.
But did that come out in the heritage?
Well, I
test?
don't think they can say what people do for a living, can they?
Yeah, I got 10% postman. Yeah.
No, but it's like it's like
traveller's not an occupation or a job.
No, but it's like how you live, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You can't like.
Yeah, but there's an ethnic component to being
I think there's a bit of that, but there's also just like it's like
You think there's a bit of that, do you?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's also just how you live, isn't it?
There is a cultural component to that ethnicity of Gypsy Roma traveller. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They can't.
No, you didn't. That's what you said at all.
They can't say where, there's no house or caravan bit on the ancestry test. It's where, and there are travellers. I'm an Irish traveller, so my family they're travellers on the Irish side.
I'm not going to. We're 12 minutes into the intro.
Right,
I'm not going to try and explain what I mean.
You got Romany on your mum's side.
We think, but again, I've never done a.
I'll get you a test. We'll do a Patreon special.
Yeah, that would be good.
The ethnicity special.
Yeah, that would be good. Get on trigonometry after that. Start talking about skull sizes.
Oh, look, we've got through the intro. Look.
We're not doing the ethnicity special until we do the exorcism special, all right? We're going to go, me and you, we need to have a full exorcism. It's the only way that we can get rid of this curse. There are devils in the podcasting equipment and in our brains, our men's mentals. We need to sort it out, all right?
I do know someone who's anyway, such a long story, but I do know someone who's kind of involved in that kind of thing.
You mean a priest?
No. So someone who's really like into the kind of
hold the microphone up to your mouth.
Sorry, get the spirits out, that kind of thing. I could arrange that. Yeah, they're around. They're in Paris.
I think there's like literally nothing that I could say that I wanted to do that you wouldn't kind of look down and go, yeah, I can sort that out a bit.
Oh, traveller. Anyway,
if I was like, I need to get a gun in the next hour,
I could get you a gun.
Shut up.
I could get
right,
right,
that's it.
Ironically, you want one now. So, look, what do we need to tell you? Come and see us on September the 29th.
Bill Murray Pub.
If you want to grow your hair back, Dents, Jacob 30 at checkout at Dents to get some finasteride minoxidil stuff that grows your hair back. Anything else, I'll be on tour in November, but we'll talk about that at the time. Look, this week.
This is a big one.
When we did Stephen Bartlett last week, it was like we're going for a big one.
Yes.
For me, this is like, in terms of the TikTok jungle, this is the lion.
Yeah, you've
this is top of the fucking food chain. This is if we're underwater, it's the great white shark. If we're in the jungle, it's the lion. You know, this is a big one. We've referenced this guy when we've spoken about other people.
Yep.
Other people that we've spoken about do reference this guy a lot.
Yep.
And I'll be honest with you, out of everyone we've covered so far, he scares me more than anyone.
And we recently covered someone that stalks comedians, so you can you can get a sense of how worried we are about this guy. You say it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week we are talking about HS Ticky-Tokky. Get on this.
Please.
HS Ticky-Tokky. Harrison. Do you know when at school there was the naughtiest kid?
Yeah.
Yeah? And I don't know about you, but every now and then you'd spend a bit of time, or you'd maybe get sat next to them, and they'd kind of rope you in, and it'd be a bit of a laugh, but it was also terrifying.
Yeah.
It's like if you met someone who had like the worst XL bully in London, and they said, do you want to hold it? Do you want to hold the lead for a bit? You'd be like, yeah, that would be a laugh, but it might bite my leg off. He's so... HS Ticky-Tokky, you know, TikTok superstar, boxer.
They all are.
Musician.
Always
They
boxing
all
going
are.
on,
Mate,
yeah.
well, this is the thing. He does the thing that all of them do. He's done food reviews. He does boxing.
Yeah.
He's made the worst kind of mumble rap house music imaginable. And he lives in Dubai. and he's basically...
But apart from that, how was the opera, Mrs. Lincoln? Yeah, it's not great.
He's like if a school bully was given this kind of platform. And when we say this kind of platform, I think he's one of the biggest TikTokers in the UK. And what's most frightening about him is with a lot of them, the numbers do taper off. Bevo, for example... It is going, isn't it?
His moment has passed.
It's passing, and the way that poor Beeves is trying to hang on to it is terrifying. It's tragic. TikkyTokky just keeps finding new ways. Keeps getting bigger. Keeps getting larger. And
I think the terrifying thing with this is that the newness of it and so I remember, you know, like KSI and all those people that do the boxing.
the sidemen.
The sidemen. So like they we shouldn't know.
What are we talking about?
They were like kind of the first people to like make a living, like a huge living out of it. They all became millionaires, all had these big houses, all these silly cars and stuff. And that was all off of YouTube, like playing FIFA and stuff and doing football challenges on YouTube. Yeah. Like they're all like married with kids and stuff now.
Yeah.
And that model is dead. No one really, I mean, I think it's still, obviously they still make a lot of money doing, but they're kind of making like big budget, like almost reality shows on their channels and stuff.
Well, they own a brand of chicken shop.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
So it's like they've gone through the looking glass. They're like off into the sunset, and like it's like what has come out in their place is even more banal and terrifying than what they were doing.
Well, yeah, I think what's interesting is that I think with all of these people that we talk about, they're all very platform specific.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those guys, I think you're right to say they were YouTube.
Yes.
And obviously they all have a Twitter and they all have an Instagram and all have a TikTok. But YouTube was their thing.
Right.
This is TikTok. Now, I think it's always interesting when we do someone who is more TikTok than anything else.
Yeah.
Because you and I aren't really TikTok. We don't really have TikTok. No. We don't really use it.
If we were really into TikTok, we would be locked up by the Metropolitan Police.
But we're too old.
Yes.
This is the thing. We are too old for it. But that's TikkyTokky's kingdom. He's the king of TikTok.
You're really set on this animal metaphor with the...
Well, but it's you know, I mean, you're right, but it's because he is really animalistic,
right?
in the sense that all he ever does, like so much of his content is geared around either fighting or having sex. Like genuinely,
it's the big two.
It's genuinely that, and it's. When I was a teenage boy, I liked watching people fight and watching people have sex.
Yeah, you've been very open about that.
But everyone did.
Yes.
Like when you're a teenage boy, violence and promiscuity, they're the most exciting things that you could ever encounter.
And for me, the Lord of the Rings novels, the big three.
Yeah, but I mean, they had spots, you know, they were mainly violence and there was bits where we got a bit horny. Do you know what I mean? When Aragorn meets the old elf queen up in the jungle, wherever she is. I don't know where she is. But the point is, that's... But this is... There is a reason teenage boys are not allowed to drive until they're a bit older. There's a reason they're not allowed to drink. There's a reason that they're not allowed to vote until they're a bit older. 13, 14-year-old boys shouldn't be given any means of agency. No. Because they're too dangerous.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to live in Dubai.
HSTikkyTokky, it's like, you know, like sometimes when people get head trauma, their brain just stops developing. Yeah. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he'd been hit quite hard in the head when he was 14, because it's honestly you know like in cartoons sometimes there'll be like a villain and it'll be like some big hench thing, and it's kind of like a staple of cartoons or like a thing that happens quite a lot, which is that you find out that actually they're a robot and there's like a thing inside the brain controlling it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, vaguely, I guess.
It's like there's a 14-year-old controlling the adult body of
Gary Neville that time was talking about David Luiz, and it's like a 10-year-old's controlling him with a PlayStation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But this is even more dangerous because it's a 14-year-old controlling a 24-year-old
with a six-pack.
He's so big. I mean, like, sometimes what we do with these things is we go, here's the most viral bit of this person, and we go from there. Sometimes we go, here's where it began. I want to start with where it's got to, because where it's got to is so insane.
Right.
That it provokes so many questions, and
we're here to answer them.
As an image, it's just insane, and it's like this is where we are
as a society.
I guess that's what I want people to look at. I want people to watch this and acknowledge this is where we've got to.
Right.
So if we could just quickly, I want to start with this quite early in the episode.
Yeah.
Watching this first video, I'm going to narrate it a bit.
Okay.
To try and give some context. Just word to the listener, it's going to sound like I've lost my mind. There's not much going on in terms. It will just be shouting to the listeners.
Right.
The viewers will see something. I'll explain. So
here we go.
HSTikkyTokky is in a boxing arena. He's topless. He's just won a fight. He's taking a man's hat off, and everyone around him is shouting "pedo, pedo, pedo" at this man who's just had his hat removed. Now, another man in a t-shirt is squaring up to HSTikkyTokky. They're squaring up to one another.
This is a packed arena.
It's a packed arena. HSTikkyTokky's punched him in the face. Someone else has punched him in the face, and everyone's just cheering.
And it's kind of like mob violence.
I'll explain it one more time. HSTikkyTokky is in, boxing attire. He clearly just got out of a ring. You can see the ring. At the start of the video, they remove a middle-aged man's hat who stood near the ring, and everyone starts shouting, pedo, pedo, pedo. Then it kind of cuts. Some other random guy starts shouting at HSTikkyTokky. He punches him in the face. Someone else punches him in the face, and everyone cheers. What happened? He did a Misfits boxing match.
Right.
That's the kind of freak boxing.
Yes.
That's the kind of,
That's like KSI and stuff again, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. I think it's the same organisation, but it's influencer boxing.
Right.
He won, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He then claimed that, like his way of celebrating winning was to out a paedophile. So
this guy was actually a paedophile, or he's just claiming he's a paedophile.
Yeah. So this was a paedophile who they had done a nonce sting on. So they'd been texting this guy pretending to be a child for months. They'd got him to the side of the ring where this guy thought he was going to meet a child. And then upon winning the fight, the first thing HSTikkyTokky did was go to this man, remove his baseball cap, and then him and all his mates, and that Ed Matthews guy is involved, who we've mentioned once before.
Yeah.
And they all shout pedo at him. Then someone attacks HSTikkyTokky. HSTikkyTokky punched him in the face, and they all cheer.
Wow. It really does make you wonder, wouldn't it be better if an asteroid just hit the Earth? Just like a full-on asteroid landing smack bang in the middle of Europe. If this is what we've become...
Now, I don't think it was a real paedophile.
Right.
But isn't it insane that I'm having to say that? Isn't it insane that I'm having to say I don't think that was a real paedophile?
And therefore it's fine.
And therefore... Well, is it? Again, it's. I think the question that has to be asked is, why would you want it to be a paedophile? Do you know what I mean?
I'm also thinking, if I was a pedo and I was talking to what I thought was a child, and they were like, I will meet you, but I need to meet you at the front row of a boxing match.
Yeah. I've somehow, as a child, got ringside tickets without adult supervision.
Who's the person boxing? It's the guy from TikTok that outs paedophiles.
Yeah. If that is a real paedophile and he's been caught that way, I mean, it applies anyway, but no sympathy.
Yeah, just in case we... We did have some sympathy. Jacob had quite a lot of sympathy for the paedophile.
No, you know what I mean. It's like at the end of Scooby-Doo, I don't want to get away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. It's like, I don't think you would, man. I don't think you've got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think it was a real pedo sting. There was a few people who called it out on Twitter. They were like, no, don't think so. Don't think that is. And his whole thing, he's always trying to get people to go on his Telegram channel.
Right.
Now, I joined the Telegram, the HS TikkyTokky Telegram channel.
Right.
Once you get on there, None of the content that he promises will be on there. So after that happened, he was like, if you want to see the full sting of how we caught this paedophile, join my Telegram channel.
What is on the Telegram channel? Start selling you stuff, trying to sell you
stuff?
stuff?
He's trying to sell you a course to get as rich as him.
Class.
He's trying to sell you some kind of e-commerce course
Amazing.
where you can sell things via TikTok and Amazon to make as much money and live in Dubai like he does. It's another kind of...
It's classic.
E-commerce scam.
Right.
How... Like nowadays... Like I think there's statistics to back this up. Most kids at schools, if you say, "What do you want to do when you're older?" They want to be YouTubers.
YouTuber or TikToker, yeah.
That's what they mean.
Yeah.
That's what they mean.
That is a terrifying thought.
They want to win a boxing match. They want to catch a paedophile. Then they want to punch someone else in the face.
It's all about like domination, isn't it? It's all about...
And this is why I keep coming back to this kind of like top of the food
animalistic
chain,
predator.
king of the jungle.
Yeah.
And what... You can probably tell from the way we're talking about him, we don't really like this guy. Like as adults in our early 30s,
Yes.
this isn't really entertainment to us.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's not. Now, I will say, there was a time when I first found HS TikkyTokky that he was quite funny.
Really?
Yeah.
What was he up to?
I'm gonna show you now.
Okay.
Right now, when I say it's quite funny, it's not my sense of humour necessarily, but
people shouldn't expect to see this kind of stuff at your stand-up shows.
Well, wait till you see.
All right. So this is earlier HS TikkyTokky when...
This is early TikkyTokky.
Okay.
This is original stuff.
HS TikkyTokky was not the biggest fan of his Thailand trip.
Fuck this place. Went out last night with the boys down Bangor Road. Brought back what I thought was a leng thing and it had a wood. I'm dipping, bruv. I ain't even got a flight, but fuck this. I'm out of here, bruv. Get me out of this gaff.
Now, to translate for anyone who might be confused, did he say brought a bird back?
A lengting was what he said.
Brought back what he thought was a lengting, good-looking lady. It turned out she had a wood. She had a penis.
I'm assuming a penis rather than some kind of whittling instrument with her, yeah.
I'm dipping, I'm leaving,
Yeah.
haven't even got a flight booked. Now, I should say, I don't really find that massively funny. It's based on the stereotype that there's a lot of, transgender people in Thailand, blah, blah. I don't think that's even necessarily true.
Right.
The difference is he used to be he'd take the piss out of himself.
Deprecating, self-deprecating. Right.
None of that's true.
Yes.
That's definitely not true.
Yeah.
He's just in a cab and he thought it'd be a funny thing to pretend is happening.
He's clearly insinuating that he's stupid as well, right?
He's made a mistake. That's gone.
Right.
That's disappeared. What's essentially happened with HS TikkyTokky as he's built up fame and got bigger and become what he is now, he's done a reverse David Brent. Like the whole David Brent thing. The reason Brent is funny is he has no self-awareness.
Yeah.
He's always trying to one up the people around him, but he does it in a really like cringe and awful way.
Yeah.
But then at the end, the last moment of the Christmas special,
He tells Finchy to fuck off.
and it's like the curse is lifted.
Yeah.
He's found some self-awareness.
Maybe that's what I need to do. I need to tell you to fuck off. That's how we get out of this.
But that and then the reason they couldn't ever make any more of The Office
Yeah.
is because it's like, well, he wouldn't do all the cringe stuff anymore because he's got a backbone.
Yeah.
And he's self-aware. HS TikkyTokky's done the opposite. He went from being someone who took the mick out of himself a little bit.
Bit of an underdog.
Could be the butt of the joke, and is now he's kind of switched.
Well, that's an interesting conundrum because I've been thinking about that in relation to this podcast.
Right.
So, like, if at the moment we are the butt of the joke because we can't work a camera, you can't remember where the tripod is, and I'm just sat in an agent's office somewhere covered in free popcorn, wondering how we get the recorder to work, right? But say we become the big predators of the podcasting jungle. Would this still work? Would the rotters still want to listen? Or would they flee in their droves?
To take that maybe more seriously than you intend me to. we every now and then, and it's like, these always make me laugh. Like, obviously, we don't really get hate comments, but what we get is people almost defending the people we talk about.
Right.
And the most recent one I can think of is a few weeks ago when we did Mark Goldbridge.
Yes.
There's a couple of his fans being like, Mark's got a
So
fucking
bizarre,
a
wasn't it?
million subscribers,
Yeah.
and you think you can take the piss out of him? And it's like... We're not YouTubers. Do you know what I mean? It's like we
can't work a camera.
Yeah, but this is it. You'd never be able to explain it to these people. But it's like we don't base our self-worth on how well we use YouTube.
Which is lucky.
Well, yeah, but that's the point. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We're idiots, and we're not trying to be Mark Goldbridge.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I guess the point you're making is if this gets successful enough, and it's
After I get the mango tattoo.
like, do you get too professional? I do think that's a thing. I mean, how we've got into this talk about HS TikkyTokky, I don't know, but I do think that's a thing of like, if people are so successful, they stop being funny.
Yeah.
There's a thing that comedians say, which is like, when you're on the way up, you do jokes about getting on trains. Then when you get super successful, it's jokes about getting on flights.
Right.
Like Ricky Gervais, there was a point where he started making jokes about how you can't open a pack of peanuts on a flight.
Yeah.
And it's like 'cause he's flying between gigs. Do you know what I mean? And I
or
do
jokes
think,
about meeting celebrities or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, someone, one of our patrons in the Patreon group chat, someone put a thing up of Josh Widdicombe the other day, and he sat on his staircase, one of his 6 staircases in his huge townhouse in fucking London Fields, right? And he always talks about that, like on his on the Parents in Hell, and he's always like, I live in London Fields, it's quite nice, yeah. And it's like that means it's £1 million house.
Yeah.
Like you're just telling people you're a millionaire. And there was this one the other day where it's like, he put up this sort of like self-facing camera video where he's like, has anyone else got a life like this? I've just had a wardrobe delivered and look at that. And it's like this fucking huge, beautiful wooden wardrobe stuck outside, like, it's like an inch too small for the door frame.
Right.
And what was quite clear is like, the big lads from Habitat were just stood out of shot being like, let us know when you've done your video, mate, and we'll get it in the fucking room for you then. And it's like, that's like, I look at that and I'm like, it's not funny because I can't relate to that.
Yeah, it's having a £3,000 wardrobe delivered.
Yeah. I can't relate to slowing down the delivery men to make a stupid video for TikTok whilst your £3,000 wardrobe is delivered into your £2 million house. But I guess could we ever get slick enough with this podcast that it stops being funny? As you mentioned already, I think we're cursed. I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I think that might be true.
You know what I mean?
I think until maybe then therefore it's actually it's important we don't do the exorcism, because if the only thing holding us back is the curse, and if obviously if the curse gets lifted, we could end up in our own studio with producers.
Is there not a children's fable that's a bit like that? Is there not like a sort of thing of like the frog and the
Go on.
I don't know. I'm spitballing here, and if there's any children's authors listening, just an idea.
Yeah. The frog and the.
Well, I guess it'd be a princess and a frog,
right?
The frog's sort of doing the whole look. I'm not actually a frog. I'm a prince.
Yeah. Okay.
I've had the curse. I need a kiss, darling.
Yeah.
And then I can go back to being a prince. And I guess what the thing would be is that once you become the prince, you actually don't really want to be the prince. You want to go back to being the frog. I think that's actually the plot of The Little Mermaid. Come to think of it.
I don't remember the bit in the Hans Christian Andersen where the prince after transforms from a frog into a prince, then goes, I actually fucking want to be a frog again. That would be the analogy.
But that's Little Mermaid, isn't it? She gets on land and the seaweed is always green.
Yes, that is.
She misses being under the sea.
She misses being under the sea. The grass isn't always greener on the other side.
That's right.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. So in this analogy, we're currently toads. We are currently toads.
We're toads.
We're going to end up as princes.
We've never been princes.
Not yet.
No. But
we in this film we've not been transformed into toads by a witch.
We've
been toads
we're
our whole
to the
life.
Princess for the kiss.
Love, trust me, we're princes. You got to trust me. Get the witch to transform us back. We've always been princes.
Imagine HS TikkyTokky finds this podcast, be like, them fucking cunts have slagged me off over there. They're like 8 minutes in, he's like, just talk about fucking frogs. What the fuck is it?
I reckon there might have been something in those candy kittens we were doing before the thing.
But look, he's done the reverse. He's gone from being someone
the reverse brain.
And now he is modern masculinity.
Yeah.
HS TikkyTokky is modern masculinity is beating people up and catching paedophiles. Right? When I was growing up, I ordered a new bell. I'm so
Bell's
sorry,
on the way.
Arrived
Once the curse gets lifted.
When we were growing up, metrosexuality was a thing.
Yeah.
And my God, I look
Alfie,
back.
Jude Law.
I miss Jude on his
David Beckham.
Jude Law on his moped.
Yeah.
I miss Jude Law on his moped.
Shockwaves gel.
It was cuddly. It was safe. It was Hugh Grant in his little man cave flat. Going,
yes.
I don't want to look after the bloody boy.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Daniel Craig in Layer Cake.
Exactly. Now we've got this. And I want to show you the next clip, which is this guy isn't a pretender.
Right.
He can actually fight.
Mm-hmm. Does he actually have some kind of like genuine boxing background, or is he just a big lad that's a bit
That's
handy?
the terrifying thing. He doesn't.
Right.
But he's really good at it.
Okay.
Like boxing and also fighting, which obviously two separate things. This is a clip of he was walking through America. An American streamer attacked him,
Mm-hmm.
and the American streamer, as you'll see, is a lot bigger than him, and he kind of wins. Just,
Right. Okay. Trigger warning. Two people
That might
having
actually
a fight.
hang on. Hit play. No, okay, sorry, wrong clip completely.
Do you want to watch this one, or do you want to watch the fight one?
Well, if we could go to the fight one, please.
All right, let's go to the fight one. And it's so. Do we know the name of the American
Next
streamer? This is him.
I
Right?
don't know the name of the American streamer. It's something mad like Ziddy or something.
Okay, so it's live streaming as well. By the way, for those of you who are not watching, it's live streaming and it's in a restaurant. This looks like an older man that's kind of pushing HS TikkyTokky, I would say. And then he swung for him. HS TikkyTokky's not backing down here. I would be running for the hills. And now they're having a proper scrap on the pavement. Older man's chucked on the floor. HS TikkyTokky
And I think the thing is, the older guy is dressed. He's got like
in athleisure wear.
yeah, athleisure wear, like actual
my
like fighting gloves. TikkyTokky's in loafers and
Yeah.
white trousers.
He looks like Peter Stringfellow.
And you can see here, TikkyTokky's doing like proper like fight.
Jiu-jitsu-y stuff to him.
Yeah, he's
We are
much
just
smaller and
watching
he's
people
beating
fight
him
now.
up. It gets broken up.
Yeah. I think that'll do us. won't it?
I mean, mate. I mean, I've got to be honest with you. When I was putting all this together, I was like, Jake's going to say, I think that'll do us for nearly all of it. The sad thing with this guy, and it's really hard. I like when there's an arc. I like when there's a beginning, a rise, and a fall.
He's still in the rise at the
Or when,
moment.
I like when it's kind of. I like when it's like this guy. It's building, but it's gonna fucking topple.
Yeah,
it's
right.
Gonna go, like when we did Davis Clark, it's like he's gonna go mental.
He's gonna go-
Like he's gonna pop.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this. HS TikkyTokky. He never catches an L, bro. He keeps catching W's.
Would you say that he has that dog in him?
He keeps shitting out golden eggs. He got jumped by a big guy,
Yeah.
and that went viral, and he
Are
won.
we confident that's not a work?
I don't think it's a. I don't think it's a setup. But I don't know. This is the hardest thing with doing this guy. Is I'm so old. I don't know what's real.
Yes.
I don't. Like, I genuinely don't know what's real. They've created this insane WWE universe.
Yeah.
Some of it's real. So it's a bit like Made in Chelsea. It's a bit like the fucking Hills. Do you remember
Yeah.
that from years ago? I don't know what's legit and what's not. The video we nearly watched, and we'll just quickly roll into that now. The video we nearly watched, which is the one prior to this one.
This is him. What's he up to here?
Okay, so in this one, he collabs with a lot of the other British TikTokers. That Ed Matthews guy,
Mm-hmm.
who we've mentioned very briefly, again keeps trying to catch paedophiles. They're mates.
Right.
Ed Matthews was mates with Bevo.
Yeah.
He got B though, but basically HS TikkyTokky, because he's the great white shark, he saw Bevo coming up, but he tasted blood.
Right.
So he was like, I'm gonna fucking get this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He stole his girlfriend and made OnlyFans content with her.
And this is
This is him advertising that.
advertising. This is Bevo's missus.
He's ripping off Bevo's content to do it. If we watch this, dinner,
So we got
like
big
Bevo.
up the pair of chips here, big up the fucking sweet potato fries, big up the chicken fajita.
And is that Bevo's missus there, sat next to him?
Yeah.
Can't swallow it like
He's
that.
doing an impression of
Big
Bevo.
up. Big up the flavour, the flavour's decent, yeah, big up. Big up your girl going on OF, big up.
Going on
Girl, give
OF.
it a try, girl. Do you like the chips? Yeah. Big up the coleslaw, big up the chips, big up the roosters, peri peri. Big up to boss man over there. Big up to you, boss man. Thank you very much for having me. Big up to you. Big up boss's hairline. Come on, Sean.
Oh, he's being nasty to the people behind the
He's
counter
nasty
as well.
to everyone. He's nasty to everyone. Anyone he encounters, he takes the piss out of them or says something nasty to them. And then I sent you an image, which you might be able to put on here
Oh
now.
yeah, I'll stick it up here now. Yeah.
It's Bevo's missus
In a state of undress.
in a state of undress. He stood behind her. They're both naked, and he claims that he made OnlyFans content. Again, for the sake of research, I checked. They didn't make any OnlyFans
Right.
content. I also don't believe that Bevo was necessarily consensual in this kind of scripted mug off. Do you know
Right.
what I mean by that?
But there was all of this is kind of like the spiral of, like, I guess the kids would call it clout, right? It's all about if you're even in HSTikkyTokky's orbit for him to have a pop at you, that's kind of good for Bevo in a way. And then it's like maybe he's really in love with that lady and it's very sad to see her go and hang out in a Peri Peri Roosters with this bloke. Maybe he's like, this is actually decent for the views. I don't know. Like, that's the most disgusting thought imaginable, I suppose, but it is very plausible, I would say.
I don't know where I'm going with any of this.
They don't either. But this is the apt tone for the content. It's madness.
We're narrating chaos.
Exactly.
Like when you say I don't know what he's going to do next, you really don't.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what he's going to do.
And we had a taste of this though as a culture, right? We had a taste of this with the whole Mizzy thing, where it's like this stuff that HSTikkyTokky's doing. It's borderline, like the Vigilante stuff is illegal. Like that is illegal to do that stuff. He is insulting people constantly. He's fighting people either in a real or fake ways, assaulting people. His whole brand is this toxic bizarreness, chaos. I'm going to do music. I'm going to do food reviews. I'm doing everything all at once. I'm all of the TV channels in one go. You don't have to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
And like, I think it is teetering on the edge of, a lot of it is extreme, and that's why it goes towards pornography and sex, because it's like that's an extreme frontier for them to like go into. And so there like, what is next? What is next for him to do? At what point does it become bad to do it?
I don't, because the thing is, the script is going insane. So I mean, I have to explain this. This a long thing to explain. There was a streamer called General G.
Right.
This guy's a bit older. He's very out of shape, and he's got like long, sort of greasy, dank hair. He's not well.
Right. Yeah. He certainly looks like he has some vulnerabilities.
Yeah. He would often kind of, he'd talk about HSTikkyTokky and his mates.
Yeah.
To the point that he rose in prominence, and HSTikkyTokky and his mates had to kind of acknowledge this guy.
Right.
Then they started hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
They made a song together, and we could play a little bit of that in a moment.
Yeah.
HSTikkyTokky then claimed to move this guy to Dubai, and then he kind of created this fictitious relationship between this General G character and an OnlyFans model called Lily Phillips.
Right.
Who we've mentioned before.
Right. And HSTikkyTokky was instrumental in all of that happening, I take it.
He was the kind of protagonist in it, in the story. I also think he was the writer of the story.
Right.
I think it was all his idea.
Yeah.
Then it was like they pretended that they broke up. I don't know what to say. Then there was this weird thing where they were in a supercar together, HSTikkyTokky and General G, and they pretended that the car got overturned, and.
But this, right, I think what you're getting at, or I feel like...
I don't know if this is a good episode, because I'm worried that what this is a confused man in his 30s trying to narrate the actions of a 20-year-old head case.
That's all of the episodes.
Well, I mean, specifically this one, like, we're not really slagging him off. We think he's terrifying.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't have much kind of...
But what I think you're grappling with is that this is like a kind of frontier capitalism, right? Where it's like, in the beginning of capitalism in the American West, there was like, the frontier was the only way to get more capital was more land, more cattle on that capital. Yeah. Then there's the attention economy where your attention span is the new frontier. How much of that can capitalism dominate? For HSTikkyTokky, there is this constant frontier of like, I have no inherent talent. I have no inherent value to give. I'm a terrifying psychopath. What more can I push? What boundaries can I go past? That's the new thing, like boxing or whatever. And this is the thing. It's maybe exploiting this General G guy doing a music video. Let's watch a bit of the music video.
Let's watch the music video.
And then we can try and get to grips with what this relationship is, because it's so bizarre. So if you're listening, we're seeing lots of shots of kind of skyscrapers. I think
the song's called Twast,
which I think is ripping on his speech impediment, I believe.
There's General G.
So they're on a yacht, front of a supercar.
Dancing.
General G does not look like someone who'd be friends with HSTikkyTokky. There's an attractive lady. She's with General G. Suffice to say, you can hear it. The song is fucking dog shit. Okay, tell that bitch. Great. So he can't rap either. It's kind of like
Yeah, I mean,
a 10-year-old
there's a
rapping.
lot of like kind of nasty language about women, you know, sluts, bitches, and you know. Now, is that enough?
There's lions in the video as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of money's gone into the making of this thing.
Lions and tigers. Why are they always so into lions and tigers?
The thing with HS TikkyTokky, it's a lot of kind of skirting around cancelability, and he's uncancelable. A, because the only kind of broadcasting channel he needs are his own channels. B,
Yeah, right. That's an interesting point.
He genuinely doesn't care.
Right.
Right, he doesn't.
He's
care.
an amoral. Yeah, he's disinterested in any form of morality.
And that's kind
he's
of the
imposed on him.
gag.
Yeah,
he'll like meet a girl in a club and be like, he'll film with her and he'll be like, look, she wants the length. She wants my length, darling. So you want my length? And it's sort of like, not bully, but kind of like push a girl till they're like, okay, yeah, I want your length. He's like, ha ha, see, scared, and like walk off. And it's horrible.
It's terrifying.
But it's. I think what's terrifying is he doesn't care, and it is like, you know, like that bully at school who just doesn't care, who will just do anything, and who will burn anyone. but my only theory with it is, I do just wonder if it's all bollocks.
Right.
Like, if he's not even actually an arsehole.
He's a RADA graduate called Julian.
But I genuinely think it might be not too far away from that.
That would be the saddest. I think that would be the saddest version of it at all. That he's been pushed into this corner. Obviously, he's making a lot of money out of it, but then is also just like actually a bit more of a normal guy. than he makes out.
I kind of think that might be true.
Oh my God.
So there's a few clues. First of all, he's privately educated.
Is he actually? Imagine if that was your son. You spent 30 grand a year for 10 years. What does your son do? He calls people skets on TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's got a fictitious friendship with a man who they kind of pretend might be have some kind of learning difficulties.
Yeah.
And he pretends they've been run over.
Why? No one's really sure.
Yeah, no, sure.
Listen to this podcast. Get back to me.
But it's like essentially. But then that's the thing, right? And I've mentioned this before. If that's the case, the question has to be, why are you acting like an arsehole? Like the character is just a prick, right? He's chauvinistic, he's nasty, he intimidates people. I mean, he's strangely Tory. Like he comes out with stuff sometimes where it's like you're just like a Tory.
Well,
like,
yeah,
he
it's
came out with this
probably
thing the other day, being like, "All you fucking scrubs complaining about the Oasis tickets, yeah? What? Because they're expensive? It's because demand's high. Fucking get with it, bruv." And it's like defending like
that
hyper-capitalism.
does sound like a privately educated person who's read 2 pages of their economic textbook.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's like, no, but like the character he's playing is an arsehole.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you have to say why. He's not a Hollyoaks character. It's not. No one's written this of like, okay, you're the villain.
Yeah.
It's because it's what we want.
Yeah.
Like what the algorithm does is, in terms of like, because he's been trying to be like a kind of YouTuber for years and years and years, as many of them are, and you can go back and see. I'm going to get to this in a moment. He spends a lot of time with his grandparents. He's got that thing like a lot of sociopaths have, where they'd happily beat the shit out of anyone, but they would like you know, lay on the road for their nan to walk on their backs. Do you know what I mean? It's like they've got that weird kind of sociopath thing of they just love their nan.
Or like the
so much.
sociopath thing where it's like, what is the most kind of obvious signifier of being a nice boy?
Yeah.
It's like loving your mum or your nan.
Yeah. Well, you can't say I'm a fucking piece of shit, can you? I might call girls skits, but I really love my nan. It's like that. But
there's so many people in Stevenage. That's the Finchy thing again? Like, how can I be a misogynist? My mum's a woman.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah.
So many people in Stevenage, like you say, just or wherever, just like so funny. A bit down the pub, like no, I take my nan out for breakfast once a month.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, he's moved his grandparents to Dubai.
Has he?
And what's quite funny is
Fucking hell.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm pretty sure that his grandmother anyway doesn't speak English as a first language.
Right.
And so every now and then he'll be like, yeah, boys, fucking learn how to work hard. You can move your nan to Dubai like me. You're happy here, aren't you, Nanny? Nanny, aren't you happy? And she's just sort of like, you sort of wonder if you like got in a room, you're like, "Are you happy here,
you all
Nanny?"
right, love?
She was like, "I'd like to move back to Tottenham, please. Please move me back to Harlow, please."
But do you think that there's like, because of like, if you're being able to do that, I suppose you've probably got a kind of generational wealth of like moving your grandparents out or whatever. Do you reckon there's a whole generation of private school parents looking at their kind of banker sons or their management consultant daughters and going, why can't you be a fucking TikToker like HS
But
Ticky?
this is the thing. I don't think it's real.
Mm.
I don't think any of it's real.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's
all a mirage.
I think it's all bollocks. I think the expensive watches are rented.
Yeah.
I think the supercars are rented. I think the
Peri Peri Roosters rented.
Bebo's girlfriend rented. But I don't, like, you know, like, it's all for show, and there'll be people, God knows who, Worm Industries PR, that they will be fronting this. There'll be a reason for this. There'll be some kind of product that's being pushed. There'll be some kind of e-commerce that he's the face of. He's kind of like it's a bit Andrew Tate.
Yeah.
And
a lot of it does come back to Andrew Tate, I think.
I think it does, and my theory is it's not real. My theory is it's all fake. So then the question has to be, so then why is he pretending to do this? And the horrifying reality is, like, all of this stuff, the way he designs his character is based on trial and error. He'll try a video where he's being nice and it'll get fuck all views.
Yeah.
Then he'll try a video where he's being an arsehole, it'll get more views. Then he'll go, right, what if I'm this kind of arsehole or that kind of arsehole? And essentially, what his kind of like scattergun approach to content over 10 years will have shown him, the data will have gone, be the biggest prick you can be.
And the question is, why does the algorithm want that, I suppose? Or why do we want that?
And I think... I do believe that is what people want, because like we mentioned earlier, Bevo, right? Bevo's kind of tried to do all the stuff this guy has done. He's tried to do the food content. He's tried to move to Dubai. He's tried to wear the bling. He's tried to do boxing. He's tried to do music. He's tried to do all the things. But the one thing that Bevo did that HSTikkyTokky never did. Do you remember there was one where I think Bevo faked a Kickstarter for like a broken shoulder?
Yeah.
But he peeked behind the curtain and he was like, look, the Kickstarter wasn't real. I was just doing it for views, just to wind everyone up, and it did. But I'm genuinely a genuine guy. And do you remember that one?
Yeah, we did it. I think we covered it. Yeah.
TikkyTokky's never done that.
No, never breaks character.
Never breaks character. Never backs down. And we often commend people for being like a kind of consistent and strong character. His character is the worst man in the world.
And he's fucking good at playing it.
He's really good at playing it.
Do you know the thing it reminds me of as well? And again, it's like the apex predator. There's like a 6-part documentary coming out, I think next week, about Vince McMahon from the WWE.
Yeah.
And like that is it as well, where it's like, and then at least with wrestling, there is an acknowledgement of like, there is Vince McMahon, the person that owned the WWE, and Vince McMahon, the character within the WWE.
Yeah.
But the whole kind of interesting part is like, where was the line? Like, where did one stop and the other one begin?
Right. Yeah.
But with him, you don't really see the other part of it. You just see the worst man in the world.
Exactly. And but also with the Vince McMahon WWE thing, what they would do, because they would like actual screenwriters,
right?
That stuff. He would have to lose sometimes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he would be there'd be like 6 episodes where he was king and he'd make Triple H go and like wipe the floor or something, but then he'd get stone cold stunned.
Yeah.
HSTikkyTokky doesn't get stunned.
Yeah.
And it's I guess the hard thing about this episode is it's what makes him most dislikable. It's what makes him most scary, but it's what makes him not funny.
Yeah.
Like the biggest criticism I can say of HSTikkyTokky, and we've slated so many people,
right?
But they've been funny.
Yeah.
I don't think he's funny.
There's not one bit of joy or levity in anything that he does.
No.
It is complete despair and chaos.
And the thing is, I do honestly believe, like, his name's Harrison.
Right.
He's privately educated. I do basically believe he's an actor. I essentially think he's an actor who I think is incredibly intelligent. And so I don't really think of him as the mug. In the same way that, like...
His fucking parents are the mugs.
well, yeah. His parents are the mugs, absolutely. But I think his viewers are the mugs.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I like, you don't blame the actor who plays the villain in Coronation Street for being a villain.
Yeah.
But if there was a load of weird kids
Yeah.
who had the villain's poster on their wall,
Yeah.
you'd be like, the whole point is that's the worst character in Coronation Street. I don't know why I've got to Coronation. Was it Dirty Den? Who
Dirty
killed
Den was in
Gale?
EastEnders, yeah.
If you had a load of kids with Dirty Den posters on their wall, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Essentially, all of HS TikkyTokky followers, that's what they are. They're Dirty Den fans.
They're Dirty Den fans. They're Leslie Grantham fans. Yeah, I think what we've got to, and the despair or the kind of chaos that's come through in this episode is like, what does this mean for the culture that we live in? Like, it's very difficult to tell where it's going to end up. And I think we're still, like you say, he's riding high in the sense that, like, he's not yet been put in prison or had a legal case.
I think what's hard to know is how in control of it all he actually is.
Well, that's the other question, is once you let these things out of the bottle, once you let out this, like, I'm going to fight people, I'm going to call people pedos and stuff, it's very, very hard to put it back in.
He's the great white shark at the moment. That something bigger will come along.
What, like in Phantom Menace? Remember that bit in Phantom Menace?
Well, it's Phantom Menace. Do you know much about megalodons?
No, but please tell me.
Giant great white sharks.
Okay.
You never seen The Meg, the Jason Statham film?
I'm aware of it. I've not seen it. I've got some friends that really like it.
So strangely, I mean, I'm not much of a reader, but the last book I read when I was about 12 was the book that film was based on.
How have we ended up here? Oh my god!
And it's it's the way that book starts is like there's a shark expert underwater just doing a bit of research, day-to-day stuff, really looking out for the sharks. And he's like, fucking hell, I found a big great white here. Like 12 foot, it's big, but
it's not that big.
Then before you know it, the megalodon's there. It's fucking 60 foot long. And you think you've seen a great white? Wait to see the megalodon. Fucking big.
And the point of the story being, like, the great white shark doesn't know that the megalodon's just around the corner.
Fucking Scoopy, mate.
No.
Comes around the corner.
Bosh.
He eats him. HS TikkyTokky will get eaten.
Yeah. That's at least one crumb of comfort for us all, that the megalodon, the next HS TikkyTokky, is out there.
The image this episode ends on is, what we are is like, imagine the small sailing boat in the middle of the ocean. It's you and I, feet up, sunglasses on the sun lounges, and there's a great white, and it's circling the boat.
Okay.
And I'm going, Jake, it's gonna fucking eat us. And you're going, don't worry, though, there's a big megalodon gonna come and eat him. And we're fucked.
Yeah.
But what we're pleased about is the fact that a bigger arsehole's going to come along and get him and get us at the same time.
So if you remember, one thing from this episode is that we're all fucked, but thankfully HS TikkyTokky is fucked too. Thank you so much for listening. Another completely deranged episode. Take of that what you will. Pick the bones out of that, as they say at halftime on Sky Sports. Love you all. Big wink and a kiss. See you next week.
Chat soon, bros.
I'm telling you.